If you know anything about the cheap knife industrial complex, you know first that it's probably some bullshit I just made up. And second, Ganzo's a major player in it. So like any bad knife reviewer on YouTube, I troll overseas websites looking for cheap knives to buy and test out, mostly because I make bad financial decisions and also have a YouTube channel. Today's impulse buy happens to be the Ganzo G7393P-OR. I paid about 20 bucks for it on Fast Tech. I don't know, or it could have been GearBest. If you've handled your own Ganzo before, or you've handled someone else's Ganzo, you'll probably know they're well made but heavy. The G7393 features a drop point, hollow ground 3.5-inch blade made of 440C steel covered with some, I don't know, black satin paint. Here are some basic dimensions for the blade that I personally measured. Now, please don't be mad if your dimensions vary slightly or it curves in a different direction. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. It's a little over an ounce heavier than my favorite EDC, my Endura 4, in case you wanted to know. It has an inspired in the style of a Benchmade axis lock and thumb studs to open the blade. With just a little bit of practice and not much wrist action, it's a one-handed opener. The axis lock feels nice and stout. Mine had a slight squeak when it opened, but I added a little bit of lube and it killed it. The knife handle is made from G10 and covers a full liner on both sides. Other than the edge, the lock mechanisms, and the back spacers, it's all covered in that black coating, paint, whatever. It has an open frame design, which I like because it makes it a bit easier to clean and probably saves a little bit of weight, right? The handle is nice. It isn't quite as long as my Endura 4, but fits my hand reasonably well. I promise I'm not going to get into a blade measuring contest with anyone. Now, out of the box, it's pretty sharp and would cut me pretty easy if I, wasn't so careful with all my knives. Anyway, it has a clip that allows for tip-up carry only, but you can put it on the other side to allow for blade forward or backward carry because you have two left or two right hands. Also, the clip is solid and it holds tight to the pocket. You may need to bend it a little bit because it really, really holds tight to the pocket. Now, I don't know if there's anything really to dislike about the construction of the knife. I mean, I personally don't like coated blades because I have no idea what the composition of the material is coating the blade, which may come into play if you prep food with your knives like a camp knife. Unless it's squash, because squash sucks, and who cares what you cut it with? Because you wouldn't eat it anyway, right? Okay, any final thoughts while I do some cutting? How well does that finish hold up to some abuse? Well, let me get some wood and cut on it while I wax in plain speak about a Chinese knife. The knife is perfectly fine for EDC carry. It looks nice and is well made. It's pretty sharp out of the box. It even shaved my arm hair after cutting on the wood for a little bit. Plus, I think the black and orange are pretty solid colors and don't care what you think about them because I like them. The edge and the finish held up reasonably well to my testing with plenty of sharpness to spare. If you like this video, subscribe, comment on, or like my videos. I bought this knife with my own allowance for the sake of knife science. Also, it's available, I think, in black and green, too, so you can look if you don't like the orange and black colors. I have a few more Ganzo blade knife reviews coming up, so stay tuned if you like internet knife reviews, or if you don't, I don't know what you're doing here, man.